You can pull the mic a little closer. Just, that's good. That's good.
Right there?
Yep.
Okay.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes, and here we go. This is the second segment of today. Yes, we running 30 minutes behind time, but guess what? That's okay, because when we do that, we in control of what we do here. So we not being dictated by somebody tell us, oh, you can't go an extra 30 minutes or whatever. And I just had this beautiful young lady coming here with this swag, you know what I mean? So we get ready to do what we do. First of all, I want to tell y'all something. Guess what? It is again, we've been trying to honor, and we are honoring, is Women History Month. So we're going to be talking about some things. I just love having the females being able to talk from their perspective, things that they like, things that they see, things they remember, things they want to do, things they have provided to us individually on this continent here. Lady Z, can you read the bio of this young lady?
Yes. To hear Elisha, I am flawed. Poetry is known her. Born and raised in Prince George's County, Maryland, Elisha gifts and talents range from spoken word poetry, jingle writing, cooking, digital art, and so much more. She started writing almost a decade before hitting her first stage in 2013 and has long ago established a platform for mental health. Elisha, with her honest approach to the art, brings diverse topics to the stage but proudly and passionately explores life experiences. Her fans and supporters most appreciate that she consistently writes and performs from a place of genuine truth. Her performances are entertaining but also inspiring and sincere. She has featured on several prominent stages in the DMV, Adventist Healthcare, and You Magazine, and is an advocate for mental health. Elisha believes that it's okay to be FLAWED, fearless, loving all wrongs, ending doubt, and that being flawed doesn't make you a failure.
Well, we want to say congratulations on the things that you've done, and just we're so glad to have you here today. So,
Wow, thank you.
so again, first of all, welcome to the People to People platform. I'm excited every time that I come on, and this is a platform where we try to get the information out. We want to talk about things that people are doing. I know you're a poet, right? So
Yes.
so that means that you got that artistic blood flowing through you and things of that nature as well.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about yourself, though. I know we heard your bio being read, but I like to hear you talk about yourself a little bit.
Okay, so my name's Elisha. No last name.
Okay,
Kind of like the Prince whole concept.
I got you.
But also, I honor the fact that my first name means Jehovah's salvation, or born to save, or God is salvation. And so that's been my journey. That is who I am. My love language is acts of service, gift giving. That's my job is life. I work for God, like straight up. And so my background, how I came to that conclusion, and my life's current situation, is that my mental health. Since I was 11, I started self-harming. There was a lot of things that I couldn't explain in my adolescence. And so that's how I chose to cope. Through that, moving forward, I was in childcare. I used to be a minister in training, was preaching, always had ability to write and to draw. I love to cook, so now I do that too. And so that's who I am. I'm pretty much somebody who is having a human experience, and my mission in this world, and my purpose is to walk in light and love.
That is powerful. What month were you born in?
December, I'm a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Oh, like my wife. Look, she over there. Yeah. So, because when you were saying some of the things, it sound like a Gemini to me. But it is what it is. But seriously, where we are today, first of all, just I want to say it's Women's History Month. So kudos to the women.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so and this is, I got a couple of things. I always try to be a little prepared for different things, and it said, I wrote this down while I was thinking about having this interview today. This is a man's world, but it's nothing without a woman or a girl. Y'all know who sang that song, right? James Brown, right? So if you wanna think about the History Month, listen to that song. That's a powerful, powerful song with words that are saying this is a man's world, but it's nothing without a woman or a girl. And that's so true. Something else that I was able to pull up, and that was some information about the history of the women. And this young lady Janice Law Turker. She conducted a study in 1973, and it was about the women in history. And one of the things that she realized when she did the study, that the women weren't really talked about. They was downplayed. How you feel about that?
Women being downplayed. I mean, it's kind of what it is. How do I feel about it? I really don't put myself in a position to feel ways about things I don't concern myself with. I think that women are important no matter how much credit we get, because of the world we live in. It is a man's world. It's male dominated. We didn't get rights right away. Even when it came to purchasing homes, it was the husbands. Even with mental health, we always had, if you read too much, if, postpartum, which they didn't have, the direct name for then, you kind of got tossed to the side. But as, technology in the world has developed and gone on, we realize that women is the foundation, pretty much. And so I always tell men, you don't walk into the room, like a king doesn't walk into the room and, people say, he has to say, I'm the king. You walk into the room and you are just acknowledged as such. And so when I walk into a room, I walk in unapologetically black woman, and you're just going to address me as such. And so, we've made tremendous strides as women, and I'm honored to be one. And so I don't really pay attention to what the world gives me credit for or how it honors me. I honor myself, and that's what it matters.
I love that when you said, so walking into the room, you don't have to walk in and demand anything. Your presence, you just come in there and be who you are. And if you are a king, then they will see you as one.
You see your queen, they're going to see you as one.
That's right. Yeah. And that's for many young ladies out there and men. But because we're talking about the history of women, women have to be able to stay in their place, stand in their place, demand the respect in their place. And when I say stay in their place, because they're so profound in the survival for us as individuals. See, we can't do nothing without a woman. See, the life cannot be carried on without the woman. So a lot of times when we don't give the woman her just due, we really downplaying ourselves, because without the woman, we won't exist.
This is very true. I want to touch on something that you said, like the woman's place. And I understand from what you're saying, because I feel your energy and your spirit, that we do have a place in this world. But I want women to understand that place is out of the box. I don't like labels. And so it's hard for me to adjust sometimes, because I don't, I was diagnosed bipolar. And so having to teach myself that I'm not bipolar, I have bipolar.
Go ahead. Come on, talk to me.
And having to make those adjustments, but to say I'm not I don't have to define myself by any word. I don't have to live a life where words define me. I'm a poet, so I do what I want with words.
Right.
I can take them and make them what I want them to mean. I change definitions. I may make up words. I may pronounce words wrong.
Right.
But it's all intentional. And so for women to have a place, we don't need you to give us a place. We don't need to stay in one place. We are multifaceted. When somebody I honor very much so taught me the word ubiquitous. And we are that. We are all things. We encompass everything.
That's powerful, powerful. most individuals who are poets, I'm a poet myself, and
Okay.
I know that. I have a production company as well, and I used to tell the rappers when they come in, I say, all you are is a poet. If you're a real rapper, that's what you are, as a poet. And I would tell them, I say, well, spit something for me, and they'd be looking at me, I say, okay, well, I already know you're a practice. You feel me? We got some people say they are, but when you can really just come, you can, like you say, you can take one word and create something from that, and it's from your inner you. It's not something that you got to really work on to identify and practice that when you are a real poet. So, where are you originally from?
PG County, Maryland, born and raised. My background is Guyanese, so Guyana in South America. So I grew up Caribbean. If you're Caribbean, you know what that means.
Yeah.
But it was cool. That's where I'm from. PG County. Pretty girl county.
Right. All right. Yeah, so I've traveled extensively and around the world. I'm ex-military, and one of the things that I had the opportunity to do was to see different women with different swag and stuff. And when I saw you, I was like, I like that. I like that. She got that flavor. I love when somebody just do them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I had an all red outfit on earlier. I was talking to one of my friends, and she's like, "That's what you're wearing," and I was like, "I don't know. That's how I'm feeling today." Then I got in the house, and I was like, "I'm feeling something different."
Yeah.
It's important that I walk in my authentic self, because I spent a lot of time conforming to other people and
Right.
what they thought of me, or their belief system in me, or what they thought I should do based on, their love for me. And once I kind of snapped out of that and trying to figure out what do I want to do and playing by my rules, that's when I put on what I want. I'm a tomboy. But I also can wear heels, and people kind of enjoy seeing that. But I enjoy being feminine and embracing that part of myself. But sometimes I do want to kick on a sneaker or a boot and just go out. So
just be a woman, or be a tomboy woman.
No, not even. Like, I'm a woman all the time, 24/7.
I know that's right.
But I think that some people they can forget that testosterone and estrogen are in all human bodies. The
Right.
levels are just different.
Right.
And so when I think about that, in my divine feminine, I'm divine masculine as well. How I connect very much with being a woman and identifying as such all the time. So because of that, I kind of walk in my queendom. It took me a while to do that, though, but kind of embracing my hair. That was a big thing for me. This is my second time locking. And then I have like I can take my hat off right now. My hair's undone. It's not cut, but I'm comfortable in it because
Right.
it's doing what it's doing.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you just like your skin and just coming into your sense of like figuring out products and what works for you. Like being a woman, it's like a lot we don't learn coming up. We kind of just figure out or stumble upon, or we observe other women and we learn things from them.
And that's one of the things when I was just doing a little study in the day about the history of women, how they have been suppressed and put on the back burner. Many things that women have brought to the table we haven't talked about. But now the women are starting to get that recognition and being able to understand, that they are very, very important. They've been a strong force from the very beginning. So, when I see women walk around and real comfortable in their skin, whatever skin that could be, I think that is amazing. But let me tell you what I also believe, that the woman is one of the most powerful species on this earth.
I would agree. You don't see many egg banks. I don't think men can just walk in and pick out of a notebook and say, "Hey,
Come on.
can you have my baby?" Now, there are surrogates, but, we talked about, me and my partner talked this about before, about the price and having to care of being a surrogate. You're carrying a whole human person, and this isn't just a human person that is growing inside of you, but it's going to come out with its own mind, personality, experiences, thought process, and because of that, women, we're kind of it. We are it.
That's the real truth. I think that as men, when we get to a position where we acknowledge the strength of a woman and what the woman plays in our lives, we find strength within ourselves. It was always my grandmother and my mother who could make me feel like I could take on the world, and so I take the things that women bring to the table very seriously. So, would it be hard for you to give me a little sample of some of your poetry?
Oh, not at all. It's so hard because it's like, what platform do you choose to speak on? I know it's Women's History Month, so this poem fits pretty much everybody. So I'm going to do it. Whenever I'm given an opportunity to be on a podcast or interview, this is the piece I do. I might do two pieces, actually, because, it doesn't matter. I'm kind of copping out because, my phone is up there. So this is how you're going to realize that if I'm a poet or not, because this piece is new, and I haven't memorized it all the way, but I think I might have.
Okay.
So this is dedicated to all the women.
All right, let me see.
I am a mix of chaos and peace, a perfect blend of sophistication and street. I am noise and silence, coal and diamond, so cool I show up in rooms. I be temperature and climate. I am change. Both purpose and process, perfect player, call me Heisman. I am everywhere and nowhere at all. Teflon built so tough I withstand time. I be time. Clocks, numbers, letters, senses, and language. I be vibration, rhythm and sound, bass, beats, and melody. I be depth, so dig deep. I cannot be seen by the untrained eye, yet everything under the sun is subject to me. I am both villain, hero, and alchemist, a prophet in your midst, both problem and solution, introduction and conclusion, reality and illusion. I am. Yesterday, today, and tomorrow, I'm joy and sorrow, I lend and borrow. I am. And for those of you who didn't understand, comprehend, or just didn't hear, I'm going to say it again. I am that I am.
Oh my goodness, I love it. Powerful. I mean, I love that, man. That's amazing. It's an art. People don't understand. It's not easy to really kind of express your feelings.
Wait. So there's a narrative shaped around this concept of this thing being hard, right?
Okay.
This thing called speaking or expressing your feelings. The reality is we weren't taught to.
Come on now.
And so when we have these conversations about what is hard and easy, it seemed easy for me to say, okay, I don't want to live anymore. Like, that's an easy decision to make, right?
Right.
No, it's not. The reality is I wasn't taught my self-worth. So you go through life and you have these things kind of test you, and you kind of don't want to do it. Because who taught you to say, consider yourself in this manner when you're feeling like life is overwhelming?
Right.
And so life is easy for me right now because I let it all go. I decided to say, you know what? I'm not playing by no rules. I'm not doing anything. I'm going to love me. But who teaches us internal? We teach love your mom, love your dad, love your siblings. Who teaches the self-love? Who teaches to make decisions on your own? When do you learn that? Decision-making skills.
Yeah.
And so to say something is hard or easy is to look at how it was taught.
Right.
How it was given.
Yes.
Because I can say, well, I'm learning how to drive a stick right now. I could say it's hard for me, or I can change my vocabulary and say it's just challenging. Words have meaning, and so when we say something's hard or easy, it will be hard or easy.
I love it. Okay. See, that's why I like the different perspectives from different positions and people and how they want to share their thoughts on things. Here, I'm an older gentleman, so, coming up in a different time, I have a tendency to think one way, but then we got to the different generations see it another. And they are doing things and making a difference.
Do we see it a different way? Because I don't think we do.
Okay, come on now, you I like this. Come on. So tell me.
I think that it's pretty much the same, and so our parents are from different countries, and they left their country hoping to get a better life, chasing this concept of the American dream, which we later find out might not be a dream at all, right?
Could be a nightmare.
Sometimes.
But
you create the world you live in. And so when we have these, when I want to move out the country for the same reasons my parents came to this one. And so is it that we're thinking differently, or is it that the times have changed in a way where we have access to more things? Because I believe in epigenetics, and that's basically the genes remember themselves. And so if we trace back, we do learn about the hardships of things that we have endured as people. But how many times do we learn about before the hardship? The dynasties that we hear so much about. Where is that in the books? And half the time you don't get it till you go to college. But to bring the point back around, it is essential that we learn from those who came before us, because it is the same, just a different face or name, or now it's in a computer screen.
Yes.
But things have not changed, really.
Not really.
It's just that we decided, this generation, to choose ourselves. We decided to say we don't want toxicity, or we don't want ourselves to be toxic. And so now the older generation is like, well, we kind of grew up around the honor thy mother and thy father and this whole respect thing. But we're learning that respect
goes both ways.
And so do parents have ownership over us? Or are their jobs to bring us here and to put us back into the world as better human beings? Because this ownership concept will have you believing that you have to be this way that this person wants you to be, instead of being yourself.
Well, me being a parent, I grew up believing and being taught that you always respect your elders. And so, whether they my parents, mother or father, brother or sister who's older than me, I have to give them that certain respect. So, yeah, but the way people are seeing things now, it is so much different. So I don't get mad with a younger generation on how they go about things. I try not to come and talk at them. I like to talk with them. Mm-hmm. I want to learn different things. You can teach an old dog new tricks. So I'll come to a young person and I want to hear what you got to say. I want to see it from your perspective. Because sometimes before I run down, I don't know if you ever heard this saying where they said, this guy, he was talking to this young guy, and the young guy said, come on, let's run down. It was two bulls, mm-hmm. and all these cows was there. Mm-hmm. And he was like, let's run down there and, and get the cows, you know what I mean? And the older bull said, yo, don't run down there. He said, just walk. Take your time. So when you run down there, they're going to scatter. But if you walk down, you take your time. And he taught the young bulls something. Well, I believe that's the same with the young people today. Mm-hmm. They teach us something. Teach us how to, sometimes you need to run down there and scatter. So you don't get confused with for everybody all at one time. Sometimes you need to open it up.
It's the human experience. We put things on, like, again, labels, this old and young concept.
That's true. That's true. And that's one of the things.
You can learn from anybody. Age gender has nothing to do. It's literally you wake up, and the way our brains are set up, we're constantly downloading information. Constantly. And so it's not possible not to.
Yeah. So
you're always constantly learning. You cannot be blocked off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's when we show up in the world, you gotta learn how to drive a car. You gotta learn how to write. You gotta learn how to crawl, walk, literally everything. And I used to be in early childhood, so literally, the idea of picking up a Cheerio in the fine motor, in the large motor, you have to learn. It's not like animals who have to depend on survival, who come out the womb having to walk within an hour. And so, at this point in my life, I respect all people, mm-hmm. Age or not. And my disrespect is not predicated on the fact if you respect me anymore. Because that's, like I said, we were taught that.
Right.
You respect me, I respect you. But sometimes you have to respect yourself even when you feel like being disrespectful.
Right. And then you kind of set the tone for how people perceive you.
Yeah, but people have told me the age thing, well, I'm such and such age, or such and such doesn't have this degree or that degree. If I told you the opportunities that I've had or the life I live, you would try to figure out how I was able to navigate this world that I am in. First of all, I don't do anything by myself. Like, people have always helped me. I didn't come from the bottom by myself. I'm not one of those people that say I did it by myself, got here by myself. Nope. There was people along my journey that helped me, and so I had to listen, no matter what the age. Working with children probably was one of the most fascinating things I've ever done because they taught me more than adults could ever. Because you see life happening in front of them. You see their eyes discover. You see them learn how to speak. Or you see them get the concept. Or you see a child comprehend. It's different when you see an adult comprehend. Because we kind of take intelligence for granted. You know, when we're younger, everything gets applauded. And then we wonder why when we get on social media, we want the likes. Because when we potty train me, yay! Anything I do, the babies in my life, if they blink, you perfect. I love the way you blink, and so I kind of want to keep that going. I'm not ever going to stop telling those babies they're perfect. You're going to be perfect forever to me.
I love that. You know, that's where we also mess up. Sometime just following the tradition of things. So the tradition, oh, you just a bad boy, and if you say that, you create it. Excuse me. I have a sinus. I was out in the leaves and I didn't prepare myself. I see that we have the telephone number up there, 703-752-6120 if you want to call in. It's 703-752-6120. Again, my apologies for today. I know my sons and a few other people like, man, you were supposed to counsel, but when I knew you would come in, and we had some other people, I was like, no, what I want to do, I get inspired by individuals like you, and I go back and I look at it and I say, you know, here's an opportunity where we have a platform that we can actually let people see what we're doing, and when I do that, I don't never try to walk away from it. So again, excuse me for me being coughing a little bit.
You okay?
It was funny because last night my wife said, well, what you going to do? I said, we're going to make sure we don't have COVID.
Oh, yeah, we got tested. It's okay.
Yeah,
no,
so once we made sure that, that's one of the things we're talking about even now.
Yeah.
Every time somebody coughs, sneeze, or whatever, everybody looking at you like,
like nothing, allergies don't exist anymore.
Right,
it's COVID.
Look, I bagged up 13 bags of leaves on Sunday, okay? And I'm a pretty healthy individual. And then all of a sudden, that's what my wife said. Did you hear on the news? They said the pollen count is going to be such and such. And I'm like, you know what? Here I was out there with no mask
Healthy
on.
individual, right?
Yeah,
you need a Claritin.
And that's a whole different story. But again, I want to say thank you for coming on the show, being a woman, a black woman, and standing in your own. That's real powerful. And that's what's so good about where we are today. We speak truth.
Yeah.
And we have to. Yeah. And sometimes you sit back and you look at young women like yourself and you be like, man, why they act like they so not independent? But that's when what you said, when you walk in the room, you walk in as you. You walk in who you are, And a lot of times when we were young, we try to be something that everybody else wants us to be.
Yeah, and I didn't always walk in the room and feel confident. I used to have social anxiety. Well, let me correct myself. I had social anxiety for like a little stint. I had moved to California and I came back and I could walk into a crowded room full of people and bust out crying, or I would camouflage myself and just dip into the corner. And that was different for me because I am an extrovert, very much so.
Right.
And so during that season in my life, it was complicated to deal with. The fact that I didn't want to be around people because I thought I would walk into the room and they would know she has mental health issues or she tried to take her life. Mm-hmm. And then I realized, who cares if they know? And I started opening my mouth, and that opportunities after opportunities after opportunities would just come. And not only that, my mental health was the direct correlation between me and poetry. If it had not been for my wires being crossed, I wouldn't have found a way to uncross them or to keep them uncrossed and just figure out how to function in the uncrossedness of it all.
That's so. First of all, to get into a situation where you identify who you are, being able to accept your goods and your bads, your highs and your lows, and still function. A lot of us don't understand the point of any type of recovery is acknowledgement of what the issue is. I've dealt with depression. I've dealt with suicidal thoughts. I dealt with quite a few things being a black man in America.
Yeah.
But not just being a black man in America outside the race of from other races, but I'm talking about from other black men.
Yeah.
That sometimes is harder on me than somebody else. But, where are we? We start to go back in our history. And when we go back in the history, start to be able to stand in our shoes and stand proud. And that's what I think about when I'm thinking about this, when it says, this is a man's world. And we are nothing without a woman or a girl. And I really I applaud the women for, and especially, young black women. Y'all are really, really stepping your game up.
We trying.
Yeah, y'all doing it. Y'all doing it where y'all got this identity piece with you. You're able to express yourselves unconditionally, and y'all are saying, "Yo, I'm beautiful, and I'm a woman." Embrace that,
Yeah, it's the process. It's the process. Women. It's so with the hormone changes, we're different. We are biologically built different than men. And so when we look at that in the body, I don't even know how to deal with myself half the time. So this, like the jokes of the indecisive and where do you want to eat and all these things. It's like we have so much going on in our brains at once because there's this syndrome called the superwoman syndrome that I don't really abide by, because I am powerful and I do have powers and I'm magical and super and all those things, but then sometimes I want to be able to take off my cape, and sometimes I think we automatically get caught up in stereotypes. And so if a man is around a woman, it's kind of like assumed that she's going to take on some roles, and when women are around men, it's assumed that we're going to take on some of those roles. And so it's kind of really a balancing act, like life in general. And so we kind of specify and want to put specifics on these categories when it's really just a life experience. And we are biologically made different.
Yes.
And that's okay. The intuition comes from having to, we have kids. And so, of course, if something goes on with your child, you carry that human being inside of you. However, when a father holds their child for the first time, what?
Come on.
And granted, I'm not a father, but to see... I've seen it twice. I've seen my nephew come into the world and his father look at him for the first time. And I've seen a dad who, I got caught up in a situation in Silver Spring a couple years ago. Whole gunman situation. But anyway, we was in a child care center and we had to push the kids, like emergency exit type of thing. And one of my students, her dad walked in and, he didn't know what was going on because he was away from the office and the news and all these things. And he walked in and he just embraced her. It was like, oh, that's the love of your life. I watched the interview you did with Cookie B the other day, and something you said about, having your wife and your daughter, right? It's dawned on me that when you find your good thing, your wife, it's like, you're like, oh my gosh, you want to give her everything that you might have hurt some other women, so you want to be like, I want to make it up with you.
Yeah.
Because you're a good woman and you're my good thing. But when you meet your daughter, she changes your world. It's like you can't. This isn't not somebody I'm sexually attracted to. It's somebody that came as a part of me, and it's a woman. And so any ideas you have about women kind of go out the window because you have this perfect little creature. Like Stevie Wonder, isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? You feel that. And so, I don't know. I think the whole concept of men and women, it's beautiful. Like the biology of it is beautiful. I don't know, my partner's sitting over there and I love seeing him smile, or I love seeing him be a kid, or play video games, or him interact with his homeboys, or him sing in the shower, or him laying on the bed with my dog. Like, it's something to see, and I capture those moments. But I'm sure he could speak of moments where he looks at me in amazement, like, and he tells me.
Yeah.
And so I know. So, yeah, women, I mean.
Women, it's funny because I helped deliver one of my sons. And when he came out of the womb, I was like, oh my God. I saw the power of God.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't in there when my daughter was born, but it was totally different. That day, I was determined not to go to jail.
Yeah.
I was determined to try to be the best I could be,
Mm-hmm.
try to move forward to do things. I always wanted to give her the best.
Yeah,
Changed how I looked at a lot of females because I had, and I'm not proud of this, but I grew up in an abusive home.
Mm-hmm.
My father used to hit on my mom. So I thought it was okay to hit a woman
Mm-hmm.
because I saw that.
Yeah, that's typically how it goes.
Yeah. So as I grew older, then when my daughter was born, I realized, don't put your hands on my daughter. I don't care what she do.
But you don't realize that until she bring you home.
Yeah.
Men don't realize it until she brings you to your doorstep.
Right.
And now you looking at, you see all the mannerisms that you probably used to do. They walking around together. It's like, oh, I see you, but now I see my daughter too.
Yeah.
And so what do you do with that?
Well, the one thing that I realized as a man, it did change me. I don't speak real on it right now for several reasons, but it changed me.
Mm-hmm.
And with the power of the woman, I got 3 granddaughters, right?
Wow.
They're my M&Ms. That's Mila, Morgan, and Megan.
Oh, congratulations, Papa.
Yeah. And they don't know that for real, they can make me do anything they want.
They probably do. That's the power.
And I just tried to move forward to be a better man because of them.
Mm-hmm.
I got grandsons too, but the girls,
It's different.
it's different. And that's what's happening with us in this world. We have to acknowledge the power of the woman, even when they're a little girl. They possess a power that helps us to be better, be protectors, be providers.
So how do we? Because a lot of times we say we identify the problem, but we don't. What's the steps? What's the steps to teach young women their power? How do we do it in a way? Because it can be manipulated. Like, we have a way that we can bend and shape shift things. And so how do you teach a young woman her power and to use it in a way that honors her?
Well, this is one thing that I realized. A man can't teach a girl how to be a woman. And a woman can't teach a man, a young boy, how to be a man. But you can teach them how to receive love. See, how I treat the woman and my daughter see it is one thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then how I carry myself is important.
Yeah, it's definitely when the woman is not around
Right.
what matters. And a lot of times I hear conversations men have, and I asked my partner one day, I was like, are you happily in a relationship? Because you giving single man advice. and I notice it's because men have a different way of approaching each other.
Mm-hmm.
But you have a point when you say that reciprocation type of love. Like, they can see how you treat their mother or any other woman that you're around, and they can go off that. But what is it like to sit down with a girl? Have you ever thought about sitting down with your granddaughters or your daughter and one day, like, giving them the tea? Like, not, this whole man code, but, like, saying, hey, it's kind of uncomfortable, but, like, this is your body. This is how men should honor your body.
You know what? I'm going to do that. Even with, I had, excuse me.
And what that, and also what that looks like. Because a lot of times we just say things, but what does that look like? Because that looks different for every individual person, especially women. I honor my body different than somebody else may honor their body.
I'm going to give you a prime example. Oh, we got a caller?
We have a comment from a guest. So speaking about mental health in women, the guest wants to know if you were just speaking about women, and they want to know more about the mental health aspect as a woman.
Oh, okay. So here's the deal. I had no idea about my hormones and my mental health. Had no clue of how it could actually, you mood swings, crave chocolate or whatever. But I started like tracking. So as a woman, I would suggest you track your mood swings. Like write down the times, the days. Because I found out that my PMS was altering my mental health. I didn't know I had the bipolar, right? And so because I didn't know, I would just be like, it's PMS. But this PMS was out of control. It was mania. But who knew that? And it would spike around that time. But I didn't know. And so acknowledging yourself as a woman to say you have hormonal changes. And you may be different. Also, food is a big thing. Oh, my goodness. Chocolate is probably not the best
for women,
and we crave it. But that means that it's the body's cravings. It says that it needs something. It's lacking something, and so based on our experiences and what foods we like, we go to something that we like or that it's common. Y'all get you a smoothie and some juices. I'm no lie, like I'm not vegan, but I love vegetables and juicing and eating plant-based because of that. Like, it had a huge effect on my endorphins and serotonin levels, on what I was putting in my body. Go ahead and have your wine. But if you notice your mood shifting, you probably don't want to have wine because it's an antidepressant. And so acknowledging yourself. I don't eat Popeyes because I know if I'm craving Popeyes, depression is probably around the corner somewhere.
Come on now.
And so, like, identifying things inside of you that you can actually change. And guys, vegetables don't taste bad if you season them correctly. And I'm just saying. But as far as the mental health and being a woman, paying attention to my cycle, paying attention to the foods I was eating, paying attention to the company I was keeping, the environments I was in, played a big part. Like, if you have women in your life and she not cheering you on, or she not telling you the truth and cheering you on simultaneously, and it can't be done. Relationships with women in your life, identifying those. Tell your truth. Let me tell you something. The worst that can happen is that you're going to die. That is the worst. And it's not even the worst thing, because you literally, if you believe in heaven or transition or afterlife, you move into another phase.
Yes.
And so I don't believe in death anymore. So that took away, boom, no suicidal thought. I can't believe in something. I can't attempt something that is not real for me. If I believe in ancestors, if I believe that I can speak to them, they can, come to me in my dreams, or all those things. So really identifying myself helped me with my mental health. I realized that me being inauthentic was my mental illness. I got anxiety because my body was rejecting some places I didn't want to go. You hear that shoulder, or you have a feeling I shouldn't go somewhere. I get anxiety attacks when I'm not supposed to go nowhere. Mm-hmm. I don't even like leaving the house in a certain spirit because I don't want to affect anybody else's energy. And so knowing yourself to the point where you know your triggers, identifying them, and how do you do that? Kirk out. Lose your mind. This whole concept of trying to gather your marbles, lose them. And don't get them back, because I have died and come back to life several times. I don't want nobody to think I'm crazy, but I do believe in God, and the concept of taking up my cross and dying daily exists for me. Because who I was at 17, that person doesn't exist anymore. Who I was at 6 doesn't. Who I was 3 seconds ago is now who I am. You don't know me.
Yes, I love that. I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm a thief. I got to steal that one. But that's true. Who I was when I was 18, he's dead and gone.
Gone. And I have attempted suicide multiple times. And in those moments, I had to have those moments. There has to be a death that occurs for you to rise again. Seasons do it. If the earth can die and then come back and replenish itself. If animals and birds can go into hibernation, why can't we? Why can't we create a new mind and heart within ourselves?
You can. And one of the things, even speaking, before because I'm going to go back to something, but I want to stay in this mental health thing with women and women of history and women who in the past have carried a lot of pain and suffering.
Nina Simone, just want to throw her out there.
Oh, girl, I love it. Did you see her movie?
Yeah, I've actually done papers on her.
Yeah.
I identify with Nina Simone.
Come on.
Because she was bipolar.
Yeah.
And an artist and somebody who lived out the country. Like,
Yes.
there's a lot of similarities, but one thing she held true to was her art.
Yeah. And that's what kept her balanced. And people didn't even understand that. Again, with mental health, we're talking suicide with some women and things of that nature. It's something that's important for people to understand. When people talk about suicide, they don't really want to die. What they really want is the pain to stop.
I'm not going to probably agree with that.
Okay, well, the reason why I say that is this, because when we believe in God, if you believe in God, God gave you a gift. He gave you the gift to life. And for you to take that, that's one of the biggest sins that you can commit.
Where does it say that?
Well, I say that, but wait a minute. It's not even about where does it say it. I say that based on the fact that when I think about my mother, I think about my children, I think about my grandchildren. If I hurt myself and take away that love from which I give to them on a daily basis, then I'm committing some kind of foul act against them as well.
So pause. So here's the thing with mental health. We make it about everybody else. Forget your wife, them kids, them grandkids, and everybody else. The reality is you don't matter to any of them unless you matter to yourself. That's it. And so when we start, I did it. A therapist would ask me every session, what's your purpose? I'm identifying all these people. I could not identify myself one time. And so to think that your purpose is attached to someone else is egotistical. Right? That's saying that my only purpose here is for somebody else. Yes, of course, we're not islands. But to say that you are in control, if I tell somebody you're the only person you can control, you're the only person you control, I can't. Their people don't care. They do not. You think when I die, I'm going to be like, oh, such and such, so sad. We deal in data, right? Quantifiable facts. And then there's truth, right? And the truth is, yes, people will be sad, but life will go on, right? And that's not to say to do it, but you have to come to a point where you say, somebody showed me this, right? If I keep filling this cup up, right, what's going to happen?
It'll overflow.
Right. Fill it up, it's going to overflow. But if I pour this out, what's going to happen?
It'll get empty. And
so if my reason is to keep pouring out to my daughters and my sons and my grandkids,
I got you.
And all this stuff,
I got you.
Who's pouring?
Right.
The concept is to fill yourself,
right,
so that everybody else gets to overflow. But the moment you stop and take yourself, and the moment if somebody asks you what's your purpose or why do you choose to live, and you identify everybody else, you do not want to live, because you don't even identify the one person who can make that decision for you.
That's powerful.
I had to learn this the hard way because I was losing people left and right. And it came to a point where I can't keep cutting off everybody, right? I can't keep doing these things and creating these patterns and going through these changes. Who is the common denominator here?
Me.
You are literally in control. And those people's lives, they will be sad and they will accomplish things and you'll be gone. So the thing about it is you have to live. You're right. My only job in this life is to live. Oh, what's your reason? I'm here, period. I did a feature the other day. I'm here. Legacy is that I'm here. I walk this earth. I don't need no other reason to live. The fact that I'm breathing, that's my reason. And then everybody gets the overflow of my breath. I have to honor that first. I can't honor your breath or his breath more than I honor my own.
Yeah.
But if I say I love me so much, that means I didn't love the person other people was in love with.
Well, that when you say that again, I grew up always trying to please other people, which was a real serious problem for me as an adult because I forgot about me. And so in that process, and many people do that, and I find many women do that because they always put their kids first.
The world not gonna crumble if you do not pick them kids. Like, it's not. Like, try it, y'all. Try it. If you don't cook dinner, nobody's gonna die from starvation. It's not gonna happen. It's
Somebody gonna be mad.
and that. Let me tell you what I tell children. If I tell a child they can't have a piece of candy, they gonna cry. That's a reason. That reason is valid in their little bodies. They want the candy. So I say, you know what? I understand that you want this candy right now. I get it. I want you to have the candy, but you can't have it right now because why? We have to be adults and they have to do these things. And you don't want to wash your teeth out your mouth. And so I give children permission to cry. I give adults permission to cry. All we are is we grew up a little taller. Our bones got a little older. Our digestive system changed. We are that same body. If I look at a baby picture of me, that's the same person. I'm staring at a little version of me. It's the same exact person. And so we have to give ourselves permission to be angry, to be sad, to be depressed. I gave myself permission to be flawed. How? Because I had to fall in love with all parts of me, even the parts I didn't like. That's okay if somebody's mad at you. If somebody don't talk to you no more, that is okay.
No, I come to grips with things like that. I got a few people that don't not talking.
It's okay though.
I'm okay because I figure like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a blessing in your life versus a problem. And
or to identify, I've been a problem in some people's lives. I've been a problem in my own life. It's the truth of the matter. It's the truth of it all.
Right.
It's to say, like, I talk to a lot of people, and on a daily basis, they don't deal in reality. And I do believe in the matrix. This is a matrix system we live in, and we abide by a system that we really don't have to. It's the system that works and that makes things flow in a systematic convenience for us.
Yeah.
If you want to get inconvenient, then that's where peace is. Because peace is not always comfortable. Because you have to have peace in chaos. Even the storm has a peaceful moment. There's even rainbows after storms.
Yeah.
You got to find that balance right there in the center of it where you can actually tiptoe that line, where you can be on both sides and be on neither side at all. I have this saying, everything is right, everything is wrong. Believe everything and believe nothing at all. Between language, food, music, colors, people being deaf, sign language. There are colors my eyes have never seen because the American language doesn't have a word for it. There are foods that my mouth has never tasted because I don't live in a country where it grows, or it doesn't grow at the Giant, the Safeway, or the Shoppers. And so how do I expand myself? It really is, I put my feet in grass. That's another mental health tip, y'all. Trees actually produce oxygen. Yeah. Like, it's a fact, data, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay. Go get a plant. I know this fake plant right here. I actually have a plant like this. Fiddle fig, I think it's called. We have one of these. But we started getting plants. We started getting crystals. We burn sage. And I believe in God. Start doing yoga. We chant, because one of my mantras is, I am love, I am light, I am peace. That's it.
Believe it or not, I mean, I believe in the energy. I sometimes go out barefooted, stand facing the east with the sunrise when the sun is rising, and I can feel the earth pulling negative out of me. It be pulling it out. So I definitely believe in that. Something I wanted to say something back that you brought up, and we got the phone call. You was talking about how do we prepare, and as a man or as a grandfather or a father, whatever, how do you prepare your girls, right? Something I thought about that I needed to say. The other day, one of my granddaughters called me because she wanted to tell me about her tying her shoe. And she had on a dress, right? And she had on her little panties. So, but I'm a grandfather. But when she was tying her shoe, her legs were open. So now, understand, some people don't understand the process of preparing girls and boys. So immediately, I was like, Mama, close your legs. You don't have on shorts. Don't sit like that, right?
Why did you say that to her? What was
Well,
your reasoning behind it?
Okay, I got several.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep it real. Number one, I'm a man. And I don't want my granddaughter to feel comfortable just, like, I want her to understand her body is precious. And I want her to know that each part of her body means something. And when she understands this as a little girl.
To who, though?
Well, this is for her. Because.
Whoa, pause. Running back for 2 seconds.
Okay. This is for her.
Special parts of body. If I could give advice to a man about teaching a young woman anything, like you said, it's hers, number one. Because the concept is that if I teach a girl that means there's access, right? And follow me, there's access.
Okay.
We want access to be denied to the outside dangers of the world, right?
Right.
So is it that we're teaching our girls to value or to hide or conceal the bodies from the dangers of the world? Who's teaching the dangers of the world that if that little girl's legs is open, I don't care if she's butt naked with her legs open. Her body's her body. You don't get a right to. I don't care if it's displayed to the world. The dangers of the world don't have the audacity to come and penetrate anything in her sphere if she does not want that to happen. And so a lot of times we teach our girls out of fear. We parent out of fear. Because your concern is, yes, you want to teach her that her body is precious and honored. So, hey, how about you say, oh, my goodness, compliment her a little more. Because saying don't open your legs or open your legs, it's giving that unconscious of that if I do this, something bad can happen. Or rather than saying, how else could we shape that? How else can we say, oh, close your legs? Or how about we just put shorts on little girls? Like, we don't even have to identify anything being wrong. We could just say a little girl's going to be a little girl. It's not about opening and closing legs. Because then you say you have to dress a certain way so this doesn't happen. It does, because what if she does say, I love my legs. I want to wear shorts. But then a man will say, well, the shorts are too short.
So, and I understand that. For me, for my granddaughters, I want them to understand that there's a certain way to be a lady.
Based on what?
Based on me when it come to me.
Exactly. What if she grows up and your way isn't her way?
She find her way when she get old enough to make the decisions.
So
but
you can teach her those things. It's how we teach.
Right.
It's how we teach. Because, again, that fear concept. Because you're saying my way. And I try to explain, because I worked in early childhood, they have their own personalities. They have their own things. How do we give them the world and protect them at the same time? Because I even, like, we don't want kids to run into the street. And they turn our fear into a game. I know y'all are grandparents. They will turn your fear into a game. How I deal with kids, y'all probably be like, I believe in conscious discipline. And so I love, as a grandfather, you want to teach your granddaughters to honor their bodies, but it can't be your way. It can't. Because then she'll get older and she'll realize it really was a scam. Not that you were scared, because we got older. Finances. Let's take it off of men and women. Finances. We realized, me and my partner, what we were taught was not the way to go.
And
so it's how. And so when I say, what does something look like? What does it look like? Literally. If I say, oh, I want to be a better cook. You think you're going to be a better cook by eating out? So I would say, rather than say, how about we go shopping with Pop? How about you pick out some things that you like? Figure out her style. Or figure out, like, literally, not just words, but you cross your legs, don't you? Mm-hmm. Because of demeanor, or you sit a certain way and you want your watch to show, right? So, do. We always want to talk about examples. They gonna hear a lot. That's something. What's the saying? What's the older people say? Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Now we know that those are one of the things that aren't really accurate. Oh, another.
No, go ahead. Take it over there.
But yeah, I love it. But I always try to say the action part, like what does that look like, and make sure that we're not putting biases on our children, especially in 2022 when there's so many different concepts, and you can't. At some point, God, forbid, at some point we gonna pass on, and they gonna be left here. And you want those lessons to hold true, but you want them to hold true in a way that when they can't see your face, they seeing hers.
Caller, could you state your name and where you're calling from?
Slade, how you doing, sir?
All right.
Yes, sir. I'm enjoying the show, gentlemen.
Oh, this is.
I'd like to send out a special shout out for Sherman. I'm Father Sherman. I remember back in the days, I've been knowing Sherman forever from the south side to the north side.
Hey, but that was the show before. I got a young lady sitting right here, Slade.
Oh man, I am so late.
Yeah.
That's okay. We enjoy having you either way.
Yeah. You doing all right, bruh?
I missed that. I got it right here on the phone. I don't know how I missed that. Are y'all on the air now?
Oh, yeah, we on the air right now. This is the second show. We had to do 2 shows today. It was...
Okay, well, I'm going to switch over again so I can see the second show.
Oh, okay. All right, my brother.
I'll do that. Thank you.
All right. So, I get you. One of the things as me as a man and with my granddaughters, I want them to understand to act like a lady, walk like a queen, make a man respect you for who you are. Don't sit. I understand.
I just want to know what a lady. So, I hear you say act like a lady. So, can you expound on how do you, when you say act like a lady, what follows that?
What that means when you show respect for your body.
No. You're also doing generals. How are you respectful? How do you show respect for your body?
By not letting people do whatever they want to it.
What is whatever they want?
Well, believe it or not, we got some perverts out here that will take advantage of young females. And if young girls are sitting down and they feeling comfortable sitting with their legs open and
is that the lady's problem, or is it, again, you're putting it on the woman, you're putting it on the girl again? And this is a thing. This is a thing because I really want you to hear, because anybody doing anything to your body is against the law.
Right.
No matter what position. What is a lady? Because I'm the thing about it is, biologically, I can't tell a man to be a man. He has a penis. Biologically, he is a male. That's the whole concept of addressing females as instead of women, right? Why do we say female? Because that is the scientific. And then there is woman. Those hold 2 different meanings because everybody does not identify as female. Even though there's masculine and feminine. So what do you do with that? And so when you say act like a lady, is being a lady crossing your legs? Is being a lady long hair?
No.
But again, when you say this general statement of be something, I can say I'm a chef, but there are so many types of chefs. There's pastry chefs. There are Italian, Asian chefs. So if I say be a lady, what kind of lady do you want your granddaughters to be? You got to be specific, or they're going to be... people identify as ladies, and like you said, they out and they doing... maybe something you might disagree, but they identify as a lady. So what kind of lady are you trying to get her to be?
Well, with my granddaughters, I want them to be respectful.
Is that being that loud?
Huh?
So that mean quiet or not loud?
No,
or?
They can say, I want them to speak their mind. I want them to be who they are.
So ladies speak what?
Their mind.
That's, boo. You see where I'm going here?
No, I got you.
Okay.
But see, one of the things is this. In the process, we are responsible for each other, okay? And a little girl, my granddaughters, I have to let them know that there's a little process of where we go. I don't want my granddaughter to sit down and feel comfortable when if she has on a dress, to feel like, I understand, but I want her to know when you have on a dress, there's a protocol. And that is something for her to learn as she go up. If her grandmother talked to her later, that's fine. But as far as granddaddy, when you sit down and you got on the dress, Don't sit there with your legs open like that.
Do we think that that's a part of the Matrix mentality?
It could be. I really no disrespect to you.
Oh, no,
really,
it's not. I love it.
No,
There's
no,
disrespect
really.
at all.
I really don't care when it comes to my grandbabies. I just want them to know that I'm gonna protect them, and I try to get them to understand. Yo, close your legs and sit like a little. This is where we make mistakes. See, a lot of times with the kids, we have them confused at who they are and what they are. And we got to get them to understand you was born a male. I'm not saying you have to act like one all the time because your hormones and things could change. But I'm going to also say this. I know that you can take a monkey and a lion and they can be babies and put them in a cage and feed them and feed them and feed them. And let me tell you what's going to happen. They're going to love each other. Monkey going to lay on the lion and rub them and everything. And the lion going to be licking them and everything. Don't feed them. Don't feed them. And the true reality of what they are is going to come out. To come home and the lion get hungry enough, he going to eat that monkey. Now, when it comes down to a female, this is how God designed them. Mm-hmm. Okay? And when I say to just be, I want them to be ladylike. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a male with a penis, and I know what seeing a vagina, we gonna keep it real. What that does to me.
Do you teach your grandsons the same thing?
I teach them the exact same thing.
Do you?
Yes, I do. I make sure that you walk and carry yourself appropriately.
So can your grandsons sit with their legs open?
They can't.
Why?
Because they got them pants. They're not exposing themselves.
Not all pants. Shorts sometimes expose little boys.
Okay, but if I'm sitting there and my grandson, his penis and his what's the proper word for? Huh? What is it? Scrotum. If that's showing, I'm gonna tell him, say, yo, close your legs, boy.
Okay, right. Are we teaching them that dangers can come to him if his legs are open as well?
You know what? I can tell him that because, see, we got people out there that we can't trust.
For both, for both parties, though.
Right.
For both. So here's the thing. We sometimes go this male-female route. And I'm not even talking about how people identify, right? Because that's a whole nother conversation. I'm talking about respect in general. We want to put male and female things on these words, like ladylike and sitting and all these structures, when it really doesn't matter. Again, your granddaughters are going to get older and they're going to go to school. And I know this is hard to hear for a lot of older folks, but as a 34-year-old woman who was taught a lot of things in the church and grew up and found out that I didn't know as much as they thought they taught me about my body, that it wasn't about just being a virgin and God and honoring that. It's about when you let somebody in your body, chemically what happens, hygienically what happens, right? Or saying that, what do you do if you are abused and your body reacts in a positive way? Because sexually, or I'm not supposed to like this, but I do. And so when your granddaughters and your grandsons get older, the lesson is not going to be a lady, because they're going to identify what they, and it's a human being shows up as this way. Not a lady or a man, a human being. Your granddaughters or your grandsons, whether what sex they are, it should be the same across the board. And it's not, because subconsciously, Pop did grow up in a certain era as a black man. He's going to automatically do that unless you unlearn and throw away some things. I'm talking about church, y'all. I was in church. I'm talking about convocations, had to have the stockings. They stripped me down one year. They was like, you got all these earrings. And I have piercings. And all these, and I'm trying to tell y'all, I was in the church. And trying to figure out what the church was teaching me and my own identity was very hard, because half the things they said wasn't true. It didn't apply to who the God I knew, who I read and studied. I'm studying all these things. And I'm like, well, God said he loved me regardless. And I'm talking about, I didn't used to wear hoes. I didn't have tattoos. I didn't do anything because that wasn't ladylike. Ladies don't act like this. Be quiet. Do this whole word of submission. All these words to these experience, because you had experience, because you are a man and you know how males think. And now you're going to teach your granddaughters to conform based on your experience as a male, instead of saying I'm not conforming for anything or anyone. I'm making choices based on me, and the world is going to see me. They're not going to see my pop.
You know what? I love that. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody that tuned in, this is real talk. I mean, this is some real talk here. This is People to People with Rodney Grimes. Elisha, right? Did I pronounce that right?
You
Elisha.
did.
You are phenomenal. Will you promise to come back?
I will.
Okay, because
This was
me and
great.
you got some conversation. Yeah, let me tell you something. Me and you got some conversation to get on. I'm gonna tell you why I ain't talking much today, because I don't want to keep coughing.
Oh, no, it's
But
okay.
I got something for you. I got something for you. Yo, and I love you. But you got to come back. 'Cause
Okay.
if I can really get out, see, I be talking, I'll be coughing
Tell
all
them
over
I
the
have
place.
conversations with all types of people. I love it.
But I love you so
it.
much. Thank you
for
so much,
having me.
sweetie.
Thank you.
You are amazing.
Thank you.
I love your spirit. So what I like about that, see, I like when I'm challenged. The only reason why I'm not being really combative, which not in a negative
never
way.
combative.
No.
It's a conversation, yeah.
No. It's not. When I say combative, I'm just really talking on what I feel. That's because my
Your third year, I get it.
my throat is real